Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to give you your March 2016 general reading. My apologies to the earth signs for getting yours out a little bit late. I've just been recovering from a bad bout of the flu, so I appreciate your patience. I continue to use the Gilded Tarot deck, drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional card as your overall theme and general feeling of the month. Thank you, as always, to those of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my channel. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Your feedback has been so welcome, and please keep it up. I do enjoy reading both the messages I get on the channel and through email. And thank you to those of you who continue to reach out to me for personal one-on-one readings. It is always an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for allowing me the privilege of reading for you. And for those of you who are interested in personal readings, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage, and that'll give you a little more detail about what I offer and my contact information and scheduling. And you can also email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. So let's get right into this reading. This is for Virgo for March 2016. Virgo, March 2016. What does March hold for Virgo? Virgo, March 2016. Virgo, 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 March 2016 for Virgo. Okay, we begin with the Knight of Cups, accompanied by the Ten of Wands, the Four of Swords, followed by the Knight of Pentacles, the Hanging Man, followed by the World card, and the Strength card, followed by the Three of Pentacles. And as your crowning card, the card that represents your general theme and feeling for the month, we have the Chariot card. Fair amount of major arcana this month, Virgo. So let's take a look. Okay, we begin with the Knight of Cups. Now, cups, the element is that of water, and cups is a suit that points towards our emotions, our emotional landscape, both inner and outer. It's also a suit that points towards love and relationships. And knights are the bringers of the tarot deck. They're the ones that come rushing in. And the Knight of Cups would represent Virgo, something being brought to you in the realm of love and emotions. And I feel like for the majority of you, this is going to be an offering of love in some sense. And it's going to be one that comes with a fair amount of sweetness and romance. The Knight of Cups is, of all the four knights, probably the most romantic and dreamy and loving of all of the knights. So I feel, Virgo, going into March 2016, that there's going to be an offering of love made. For some of you, this is going to resonate as a romantic love relationship. For others, this is going to be represent just another relationship where there's some kind of offering of love or offering of assistance somehow. For some of you, this is going to represent an offering of help. Now, the Knight of Cups is accompanied by the Ten of Wands. Now, wands, the element is that of air and fire. So when you think about air and fire together, it's a very dynamic, very action-oriented kind of combination. And the suit of wands points towards action, change, movement, action, power. And tend to also represent the ends of cycles, the ending of something, the culmination of something, the coming full circle of something. And the Ten of Wands, Virgo, represents being pretty much almost at the tail end of something. It's something that you viewed as kind of a burden. And I always feel a bit of a long-lasting feeling with the Ten of Wands. It feels as if this burden you're carrying, this heaviness, this situation or person, relationship that you've been dealing with for quite some time. But the Ten of Wands would indicate that the time for carrying this is almost at an end. You can see this man, this burden is so heavy, he cannot even stand up straight. He's completely bowed over by the weight of what it is that he's carrying. But I always see his destination, his home or his destination where he's carrying these wands to, as just around the corner, you can see that his head is up and he's looking at something, which he wouldn't do if he were still in the middle of that long, hard slog. So, Virgo, I feel like paired with the Nine of Cups, whatever this offering is, again, I think for some of you, this is going to be an outright offer of romantic love. For some of you, it's just going to be an offer of help, a loving offer of help from someone who cares, who's watched you carrying this burden, who has watched you struggling with something, and they're making an offer of help in some way, a very loving, genuine, sincere offer of help that's going to help you either shoulder this burden or, again, this Ten of Wands represents being almost at the end of something where you're going to be able to lay this burden down, stand up straight, and take a deep breath. And it looks like you're going to be having help to do that. Again, whether it's an offering that's romantic, love-based, that's somehow going to help you finish carrying this burden because you're almost done, or somebody else who's just coming in with an offering to help assist with whatever it is that you've been struggling with. And the only abundance of cards you have here in terms of specific suits is Pentacles. So it may be for some of you who are struggling with a financial matter or struggling with money issues or job or work, it may be that this person who's offering you help is offering you, it looks like more of an emotional support, just somebody who's there that you can talk to that's going to have your back. Now, following that, at or around the second week of March, we have the Four of Swords paired with the Knight of Pentacles. So swords, the element is that of air, and swords is a suit about our thoughts, our words, but primarily our thoughts, how we look at things, our mindsets, our ideas. It's our reasoning, our logic. It's a very mental and cerebral suit, and it's all about what goes on up here. And the Four of Swords is primarily pointing. It's a card that points towards respite, of needing a break, needing a rest. And I think, especially directly following this Ten of Wands, this burden you've been carrying, that you've been struggling with, that you're almost done with, Virgo. You're almost at the end. It's almost as if the card just saying, just hang on. You're almost there, and you're having some help actually in dealing with this and dealing with the end of this thing. It looks like you're going to have some love and support in finishing this thing out. And the Four of Swords is actually pointing to your needing it very much. You can see that this man is girded for battle. There are three swords above him, and one laying by his hand close by should he need it. But for the time being, he's not engaged with him. And whether he's just come from a battle or he's taking a break from a battle, for the time being, he is laying down and resting because he needs it. He is exhausted. And I'm always struck by the fact that this man still has his armor on. This is pretty heavy armor. It's as if he were so tired, so exhausted, that he could not even take the time to take his armor off, and he just fell into bed. So again, Virgo, it feels like whatever this burden you've been carrying, and it is just about time for you to lay it down and have a much needed, much deserved rest. But it looks like you're going to have support in doing that. The Four of Swords is also accompanied with the Knight of Pentacles. And again, I feel as if you're getting help and assistance through this in some way. Pentacles, the element is that of earth, and Pentacles is a suit that's all about things in our earthly, tangible environment that we can see and touch and feel. And most often it points towards things like money, finances, resources, job, property, things like that. Knights, of course, being the bringers of the tarot deck. And I actually feel like, again, you're going to be getting help. I feel like, now the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles can represent the same person, or it can represent two different people that are coming in and giving you offers of actual physical, tangible support, as in, perhaps a loan or how to manage, something in your physical, tangible world, your financial world a little better. The Knight of Cups offering that emotional support, someone that you can really talk to. And I really feel like for some of you too, that this break that you need to take, this burden that you've been carrying, it looks like you really need to take a rest. You need to take better care of yourself, because that's what's actually going to bring you, that's what's actually going to lead you into, not lead you, this is what's going to make you feel more grounded, more rooted, more solid, more stable. It feels as if, Virgo, whatever it is that you're dealing with, and I'm kind of getting a feeling that for some of you, it's, I don't know if it's maybe for half or more than half of you, Feels like for a pretty large chunk of you, you're dealing with some kind of financial hardship of some kind, or you've been under some kind of financial strain, whether it's the loss of job or just money's been really tight. I know it's tax season and that can be a little stressful. But it looks like whatever it is, you're going to have the support to be able to deal with it and the help and assistance in order to be able to deal with it. But the advice with the Four of Swords is to take some time out, if you can, to carve out a niche for yourself where you can rest, have a little bit of respite, go within, and that's going to make you feel a little more rooted and not quite so unstable. Now, on or around the third week of March 2016, we have the Hanging Man, followed by the World card, two great major arcana cards. So the Hanging Man can point towards feeling like you're in a state of stasis or a state of limbo with something. And again, I feel as if you've been struggling under this burden, you're having some help, some support in dealing with this thing, both emotional support and I think some tangible support, but a rest is really needed. And I think what is the advice that I'm feeling that I'm sensing right now, especially following this Four of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, you need to take a time out, Virgo. You need to take a step back. Try and carve out some space for yourself where you get a little bit of rest and reprieve. It looks like you've really worn down by whatever this situation is. But taking a rest, taking a step back is going to help you get a sense of clarity. It's going to renew and recharge you and help you be able to go back into it um, and actually take some tangible physical steps that are a little more grounded and rooted, because it feels like you're so tired right now that things are feeling kind of shaky and unstable. The Hanging Man, I feel also like this is a piece of advice about just taking some time to just be patient with whatever the situation is. You got some help, some support, some backing, but you need to just, I feel like no matter what it looks like from the outside to other people, you need to just kind of take a break, take a stillness, kind of go within. And I just feel like a period of stillness is required. You can see on the Hanging Man, and the fact that this is a major arcana card represents a piece of advice, I think that's quite significant, quite profound. You can see the Hanging Man is hanging upside down in what appears to be an uncomfortable or even awkward, painful position. But he's not struggling, he's not fighting with it too much. This can represent, in some cases, feeling an unwelcome sense of being in limbo or being in stasis. It can also just represent standing by something, a decision or an action or a lack of action that may appear to be out of character towards other people or may just look kind of strange to other people. This can also represent choosing not to engage in certain conflicts or battle, because sometimes the best way to win a battle is not to fight one at all. But again, just a very strong sense that I'm getting is you're tired from whatever it is that you've been dealing with, Virgo, that you're feeling really worn out, and a timeout is heavily needed. It's very strongly pointed to right now. A sense of limbo and just kind of just stay where you're at, because you're almost at the end of something. Now is the time to take a little bit of a break and get some rest and reprieve, because that's going to put you in a place of the World card. I want to say it's almost going to put you in a place of achievement and triumph, which is what the World card represents. But I think that it's just what's necessary. I don't know if perhaps you've entered a waiting period where you've put in a long work, a long hard slog of putting things together, working towards something, and now this is kind of the still small space before everything kind of begins. Or if you've just been really struggling with something, and a timeout or rest is really needed. Again, it just feels like such a strong repeating message, but that you just need to take some time to be still, to be patient. That's what's being called for. And I have a sense that this is a necessary part of the process for, in order for the next phase to begin and to begin successfully. It feels like what's needed is for you to just be still and be patient, even though what you're carrying is kind of difficult, and even though it feels like there's a sense of wanting to move to the next step of this, wanting to go to the next phase of whatever it is you've been struggling with. But the advice, very strong advice, is to take some time, rest now, because the action is going to come later. The action is actually going to come soon. We'll see what comes up in the mid-month readings for you, Virgo. The World card represents a sense of achievement, a sense of triumph, and a sense of self-empowerment. The World card can also point to a sense of wholeness and integration, of kind of feeling like you are completely at peace with yourself and completely connected and grounded with yourself. And paired with the Hanging Man, these two major arcana cards complement each other quite well. The Hanging Man points towards kind of going within and staying in a certain space, staying by a certain decision, just kind of being in this space, no matter what it looks like to other people, just being at peace with the decision you've made, or just with being still and not taking that next action yet. And the World card is kind of a good complement for that because it speaks of a sense of being grounded within yourself, self-empowerment, wholeness, and integration. And there's an underlying theme to the World card of triumph and success once you've reached this point too. So again, it feels like whatever this space is, even if you feel like you're in a kind of a limbo space and you don't want to be, it's necessary. It's there for a reason. And the cards are indicating quite strongly that you just need to be patient and you need to be at peace with where you're at right now because it will change. Things are always changing. Now, at or towards the end of the month, we have another beautiful major arcana card of strength. Again, what is called for and what I feel you already possess, Virgo, being that strong, grounded earth sign that you are. And the strength card is also paired with the Three of Pentacles. And I feel, Virgo, like at or towards the end of March 2016, and again, we'll see what the mid-month readings show. But I feel like things are going to start picking up for you at the end of March 2016. But again, there's still a theme of being centered and grounded within yourself. Whatever decision you've made, whatever actions you take, or this kind of still space that you find yourself, that it feels like you're in. The strength card represents, again, a kind of a quiet inner sort of strength, the kind of strength that comes from being certain that you're on the right path, being at peace with where you are on the path that you're at. It's not a strength card that represents strength in kind of the, big muscles and brawn, aggressive kind of strength. It's just the strength that comes from a gentle inner strength of being connected with yourself. Again, that hanging man, being in that space and being okay with that space no matter what it looks like to the outside world, being at peace with that. The World card, again, having that sense of wholeness, integration, self-empowerment that comes from knowing that you're on the right path. Again, I'm getting the message no matter what it looks like to the outside world. So some of you may be in a space right now where other people are maybe giving you advice to do certain things, but again, it looks very clear and very strong that you should be in a space right now. It's kind of a holding pattern and it's necessary for some reason. And the strength card also echoes that as well. You can see that this woman has tamed this wild beast, so to speak. There's a chain wrapped around his neck that's connected to her hands, but this chain is very loose around the lion. He's perfectly at peace with it, and he doesn't really seem to be noticing it much at all, and she's not exactly holding it very tightly. She's moving forward into her future confidently with her head up. She's at peace with where she is. She has made this card is also too about being at a place of self-acceptance, of coming to grips with something, of being at peace with something. Again, it's really interesting for those of you for whom this resonates, and it's not going to resonate with everyone, because everyone has their own unique natal chart. But for those of you for whom it does resonate, let me know what it is, because the cards aren't specifically pointing to it, except there's maybe a bit of a hint that for the larger portion of you, it may represent finances or job or something in your physical world. But again, the strength card, I'm just getting this sense of being at peace with yourself, having a sense of self-acceptance. It's almost as if you've conquered something in this still, small, patient limbo kind of space. You end up deriving a lot of strength from it, coming to a point of self-acceptance and self-empowerment, which gives you more of a sense of confidence as you move into your future, because I think that things are going to pick up a little bit more at the end of March 2016. That strength card is accompanied by the Three of Pentacles, which is a card about compromise and negotiation. And paired with the strength card, I feel like this is something that you've had to do, and it looks like it's been a bit of a challenge too. But the Three of Pentacles is also a card about working with other people and compromise and negotiation with other people. Even though this man is by himself on this card, in other tarot decks I've seen him, and there's other people they're working together on a certain project and quite successful. It's a card about needing to compromise and negotiate with other people. And perhaps this is part of the process that you've been going through that's been such a struggle and such a burden for you, Virgo. Perhaps you've been working within a group of people, maybe either at work or even a family system of some kind. People haven't been seeing eye to eye, and it looks like it's been, again, just a real challenge, a real long slog, and a rest is desperately needed and called for. But it also looks, too, like with the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, that you're going to have help in this, that you have help in this, and you're going to continue to have help both in a tangible way and in an emotional sort of way. And that at the end of the month, what's going to help you become stronger, uh, what's required and what's actually you're going to derive more strength from is having come to a point where you've for some of you, this is going to represent compromise and negotiation within this certain situation with other people. And for some of you, it's going to be something that you've come to within yourself, a sense of compromise and negotiation acceptable within yourself on the situation, on how you're going to move forward and act and the decisions that you're going to be taking. But it looks like you're going to be working with some other people too, and that you're going to successfully reach a point of the meeting of the minds on something. And again, I feel like for a more significant portion of you, this has something to do with your physical, tangible world, whether it's, money, finances, job, career, something of that sort. Perhaps you've been going through a difficult time at work in dealing with other people, but it looks like some kind of compromise and negotiation uh, is going to be available at the end of the month, and you're going to be stronger for it. It's going to give you more of a sense of confidence, and it's going to give you a place to negotiate from as well. That again, it looks like the middle of the month is going to be more focused on this still, small, patient kind of space. That's what's needed, and to take advantage of any and all opportunities you have to rest. And that's what's going to prep you for the end of the month, where it looks like there's going to be more movement going into April too, because I feel like this is going to be an ongoing situation. But you're almost there, Virgo. The Ten of Wands, even though it feels like you're tired, you're exhausted, you're just kind of at the end of it. You are at the end of it. You're just about there. You're wrapping up something, and whenever there's an ending, there's always a new beginning right on its heels. So hang tight. uh, Whatever space this is, even if it feels like, you want to move, you don't want to stay in this kind of quiet, still limbo space, there's a reason for it. It's part of the process. I feel that very strongly. Take advantage of it to rest, if at all possible. And towards the end of the month, I feel like there's going to be more movement, more activity, more talking, more compromise and negotiation. And you're going to be pretty strong into that, both going into it and coming out of it into April as well. Because again, I feel like it's going to be an ongoing thing, but we'll see what the mid-month readings say. So Virgo, I hope that you have enjoyed this reading. I hope it has resonated with you at least somewhat. It feels a little unclear to me, but again, for those of you for whom it resonates, feel free to give me some feedback. I do always enjoy reading that. And for those of you who are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage, and that'll give you a little more detail and information. And you can email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I do readings full-time, so I'm pretty good at being able to get work with your schedule within 24 to 48 hours. So again, feel free to do that. And thank you so much for watching and following, Virgo. And until I see you in a couple of weeks, well, probably another week, week and a half for the mid-month readings, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life until then. Thanks for watching, Virgo, and I'll see you later. Bye.